For the party of Johnson, Jordan, and Richards, it's an almost unfathomable losing streak. Candidate after candidate, race after race, Democrats have lost and lost again. It's been 23 years since a Democrat has won a statewide election in Texas, but the changing of the tide happened long before that.
A shift to Republican domination actually began with Bill Clements, actually began with John Tower back in the 70s.
Harvey Kronberg is the publisher of the Quorum Report, a Texas political website. Tower and Clements were the first Republicans elected to those offices in Texas since Reconstruction. Political consultant James C. Moore says Ronald Reagan capitalized on that momentum, targeting Texas as a state he could win.
He campaigned very hard in East Texas and told those people they can be Reagan Democrats. Be a Democrat, but come vote for Ronald Reagan. And they did, and they stayed there.
Republicans then focused on lower-level races, giving their candidates a chance to gain experience before challenging for larger roles. That momentum carried into the 1990 election cycle, where Rick Perry was elected Agriculture Commissioner and Kay Bailey Hutchison became State Treasurer. Hutchison eventually became a U.S. Senator, and Perry served as governor.
I, Rick Perry, do solemnly swear.
I, Rick Perry, do solemnly swear.
The success of Texas Republicans in larger roles extends farther than that. The past two Republican presidents, George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush, both served in Texas prior to winning the White House. Democrats haven't won Texas in any presidential race since 1976, but the 2016 results lead some to believe that change could be coming. Hillary Clinton lost the state by about 9%, the party's best showing since 1996.
The demography of the state is going to change, which is going to benefit Democrats.
Moore believes there is hope for Democrats moving forward, but points to a glaring issue.
The other issues that are out there lingering is there's no list of candidates. There's no bench. There's no high-profile candidates.
Arguably, the state's two most well-regarded Democrats, Joaquin and Julian Castro, have opted against running in statewide races. So the focus turns in part to vulnerable Republican seats. There, both Moore and Kronberg point to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick as a target for Democrats.
The problems that we have in Texas are directly attributed to one-party rule. One-party rule does not work. If you have one party firmly in charge, they cease being responsive to taxpayers.
Mike Collier is the Democratic challenger to Patrick. Much of Patrick's perceived vulnerability revolves around the proposed bathroom bill. But Travis County GOP Chairman Matt Makoviak argues it's tough to make a major issue out of legislation that ultimately failed.
It's easy when something passes and there's an effect and there's a winner and there's a loser. You can then prosecute the case over that policy. When something didn't happen, it's just hard to get a broad range of people mad about it.
As for a party platform, Kronberg says Democrats need a unifying message to rally behind.
The Democrats have to get past identity politics and be able to speak to a broader audience and communicate that they share their values.
Issues and candidates aside, none of it matters unless Democrats go to the polls. With the party struggling to attract challengers to Governor Greg Abbott, will voters come out? It's a question that will be answered a year from now, one that both sides fight to win each day until then. Many analysts have discussed the impact of the Trump administration on the 2018 election. So how does Trump fare right here in Texas? A recent Texas Tribune University of Texas poll shows that the president has maintained strong support among Republicans and a 45% overall approval rating versus a 49% overall disapproval rating. That approval rating is about 6 points higher than his national average. I'm going to go hop on Facebook Live to answer any of your questions, so make sure to check us out there and read our web story as we go more in depth on this topic. Mike and Quita.